The People's Court, today at 4:30.
Chad Sutherland seems like a nice, personable young guy, doesn't he?
Personable? He's a pest. I mean, I've told him so many times I'm not interested in him, and I keep mentioning Gavin. It does no good. Nothing affects him.
Well, there's only one answer, then. I mean, if his attentions are unwelcome, you just got to tell him so once and for all.
I've tried telling him. I guess I just have to be more firm about it. You know what I think? I think Chad thinks he can stake a claim while Gavin's out of town.
He's not the shy, retiring type, is he?
Not at all. You know, maybe what I should do is tell Chad I don't want him to paint my portrait. You know, tell him I'm happy with the other one that looks like me.
Well, now, wait a minute. That might be a little awkward, because that portrait, after all, is a gift from the Endicott, so they might be a little offended.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, then I'll just have to be very stern with Chad.
I'm sure you'll figure out how to handle him.
I'm sorry I took so long.
That's all right. How are things home?
I don't know. I've tried calling home at least half a dozen times, and nobody has answered the phone. I don't understand it.
Well, maybe Mrs. Goodman's in the bath.
Or maybe she's asleep, didn't hear the phone ring.
No, she's a very light sleeper. The slightest noise wakes her up. Adam could sigh and she'd come running. I don't want to be an alarmist, but I'm worried about it.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by All Vegetable Crisco. Crisco makes pie crust flaky. And by Bold 3, detergent plus full-strength fabric softener.
5 years ago, my only artistic outlet was finger painting. Today, I'm taking art classes. Boy, have I changed my life for the better. Back then, I called the plumber when the faucet leaked. But today, I can change a washer myself. Now that's better. 5 years ago, I had to buy boxes of this and bottles of that to get my laundry clean and soft. But Bold 3 detergent plus fabric softener changed that. A product that cleans, softens, and controls static cling all in one box. Now that's a change for the better. Oh, I know, only if it works. Well, Bold 3 works. Look at this shirt. Muddy, right? This was just as muddy. And talk about softness. All towels should feel this soft. Now watch. No sticking, no crackling, no annoying static cling. All that from one product. That's some change.
A change for the better. Bold 3. Now Bold 3 is an even better value. Compare prices and see for yourself.
Some people like my pies burning to my singing.
Oh, but honey, I like your singing too.
Oh, go on. My family does love pie. But you have to make a pie right before it turns out good. That's why I use Crisco. Look how flaky Crisco gets my pie crust. Tastes better than cold watermelon on a hot day.
Well, how about some seconds?
You haven't finished first yet.
Well, I'm working on it.
All vegetable, no cholesterol, Crisco.
Crisco will do you proud every time.
Well, now.
Raymond, I hate to see you like this. You have worked yourself up into an awful state of nerves. And if you don't sit down and try to pull yourself together, then you may fly apart in all directions.
I can't help it. I am going crazy.
I still think you'd feel better if you had something to eat. You haven't eaten a thing since...
No. I don't want anything to eat. I can't eat.
Raven, when you can't eat, something is radically wrong.
Well, how do you expect me to think about food at a time like this? Someone is trying to take away all my money, and I am going insane!
Oh, for heaven's sake, stop dramatizing yourself. Haven't you been through enough real-life drama recently without predicting the end of the world for yourself? I'm telling you, it isn't anything of the sort. Now, you sit down and think about this calmly.
Look, the only thing that I can think about is someone is trying to take away everything, and they're not going to do it, because I went through hell to get all of this. and I am not going to let anyone take it away without a fight.
Now, you listen to me, my girl. Whatever is right and whatever the law permits is what you're going to have to abide by. You'll save yourself a lot of grief if you will understand that fact. In any case, it isn't as if you were going to be thrown out on the street.
Oh, yeah? That's exactly what they're trying to do to me.
Raven, you are what is called a survivor in more ways than one.
That's right. And I am not going to let them take anything that belongs to me.
What belongs to you, or what you think belongs to you, and what does, now, are two different things. Are you expecting someone?
Yes, I am. Jim Diedrichson. I asked him to come over here because I'm going to find out if he knows anything more about this gang. Maybe I can get some ammunition. Hi. Come in.
Good evening.
So, does it feel any better being yourself as opposed to Bennett Matthews?
Yes, it does.
Geraldine, I think you know Jim Diedrichson.
Yes, of course, Mr. Diedrichson.
How do you
Good
do?
evening. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Well, I'm so glad at last to have the chance to tell you how grateful we are for your persistence in trying to find Raven.
Oh.
And now I understand why you were so anxious that day you came to see me at the station.
Well, I deserve no thanks, but I have to tell you how much regret I have about this whole experience, especially for Raven.
Oh, yeah, I regret it a lot, too.
Well, I'm glad you called me anyway. I wondered how you're doing after your ordeal, if there was anything I could do for you.
Yes, there is. You see, I'm having a worse ordeal right now, and I think you can help me.
How?
All right. I want you to tell me everything that you know about every person involved in that scam and exactly why they did it.
But I've already...
I know. You told me about Calvin, and you told me about Clifford, and you told me about that rat, Johnny Gentry, and you told me about Mitzi, what's her name. But I want to know about the rest of them, particularly those Wilson brothers.
Well, I've already told you everything I know about the Wilson brothers. Smiley was the one that started it, and then Hector was in on it too, and then slowly, as we all started to drop out of it, Hector and Smiley continued on with it. They saw a way to make their fortune. And at the end, they decided that there was nothing that was going to stop them.
They paid the ultimate price, didn't they?
Yes. I'm afraid I'm going to feel the responsibility of locking Smiley in that jail for the rest of my life.
But that was only circumstance. It was a terrible accident. You didn't plan it that way.
Yes.
Look, I don't care about all that. What about Nora? Is it true that she was blackmailed into this scheme?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Because she came over here today and said that Spencer forced her into it.
Raven, you can be sure that nothing Nora Fulton tells you is the truth. She's a pathological liar.
That's exactly what I thought. What about Spencer? Spencer is the one I want to know most about. Tell me, what were his motives?
I can't help you. I don't know Spencer. I don't know what his motives were.
Well, all I know is he's still involved in this game. And he's trying to get me again. He's trying to force me into poverty.
Hello, Spencer. I didn't know you were the type to drink alone.
Nora Fulton, the last person in the world I wanted to see.
I'm overwhelmed with your welcome.
How did you know I'd be here?
I knew this was your favorite watering hole. Popular with the servant class, I imagine.
May I buy you a drink?
Why so friendly all of a sudden?
Well, I thought it might buy me some information about an old friend.
What old friend?
Your ex-old man, Gunther.
What do you want to know about him?
Something interesting. Did you know that he had a brother?
Of course I did. Gunther talked about him a few times, not with brotherly love. Of course, they despised each other. Why do you want to know about his brother?
Did you ever meet Bruno Wagner?
No, never.
Maybe you did and you just didn't know it.
Look, are you drunk or something? If you can't hold your liquor, then don't drink.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I'm only laughing because life is so funny, isn't it, Nora? I mean, everything comes in twos. There's double Whitneys, double Wagners, double brandy and sodas.
I think you're seeing double. You're obviously not going to be much help to me in this state.
You wanted me to help you? another laugh, Nora.
Look, I am out of a job. There's no way I can work here. I just want to get out of this tank town.
For that, Nora, I would gladly give you everything I have. But, unfortunately, all I have is enough for the waitress's gratuity. Anyway, Nora, remember what I said about... Everything comes in twos.
Hey, you didn't order any dessert or coffee. Was everything all right with the dinner?
Everything was fine, thanks.
No, there just might be a slight problem at home that we need to check on here.
Come on, good night, Sid.
Good night.
Good night. Hope everything's all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Why don't they come home? Please, please, please. I can't stay out all night. Right. I can't. All right, honey. So just try to hang on, will you? Just a little longer. Come on now. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Right. All right, you're not scared. Oh, God, the worst thing is the terrible feeling that I just must go to the edge. I must.
I won't put on my bikini till I take it off with cocoa butter neat.
I won't put on my jogging short till I take it off with cocoa butter neat.
Neat works better than razors. Look, razors only cut at the surface, but Neat works below skin surface. 5 days later, you see stubble on the razor leg, but the Neat leg is still smooth, so you look better in your bikini.
Before I go out with Billy, I take it off with cocoa butter neat.
Cocoa butter lotion and now cream, too. Neat for smoother legs longer.
When summer brings itchy inflammation, like poison ivy, insect bites, and allergic rashes, scratching can lead to infection. So you need Caldecort hydrocortisone spray to stop your itch without touching your rash. Caldecort hydrocortisone spray to stop your itch without touching your rash. Without a prescription, nothing is more effective to help keep you from scratching your itch to infection than Caldecort. Caldecort with hydrocortisone.
Oh, hi there, handsome.
Oh, how you doing, Sid?
Well, I'm hanging in there, I guess.
You okay? You look a little bit somber.
Yeah, well, a dear friend of mine just died. Just making a little bow to his passing, that's all. Well, you know what they say. Nobody lives forever, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Hey, listen, Damien, Calvin's over there all by himself, moping. Maybe you could go over there and see if you can pick his chin up off the floor, huh?
Okay, I'll do that. I've been looking for him anyway. You take care of this.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing, Calvin, old buddy?
Please, please, don't be so disgustingly happy. It's a very irritating thing to a man who's indulging his depression.
I'm sorry, it's just a part of my nature.
Yeah, what are you doing here anyway? You were supposed to be out celebrating your return to the fold with Poppy. What happened?
Well, Poppy's not much in the mood for celebrating. Somebody worked her over, Calvin.
What are you talking about?
I mean, somebody beat her up. She's got a gash under her left eye and a big bruise on her cheekbone.
And who would do a thing like that?
Well, we don't have to guess, do we? Obviously, it was Eddie Lorimer or one of his henchmen.
They were what for?
Well, I think Eddie found out that she made an anonymous tip to the police department about that fur shop that Eddie was secretly running. Threw a wrench in his plans to get me kicked off the police force.
Yeah, I'm sure that must have been a real disappointment to old Ed.
Well, he was disappointed enough to beat the hell out of Poppy.
Well, she's probably not going to say anything about it, so you can't do anything about it.
That's what I don't understand is why does she want to keep that job?
Well, I don't know. Maybe she's too scared to leave.
She ought to be too scared to stay there. I'm going to see if I can't get her to change her mind and take another job.
Wait a minute. What is all this interest in this chick? I mean, is this just some friendly concern or is something serious happening?
Calvin, I'm just trying to help the lady out.
You know what kind of a lady she is. I mean, there's no point in trying to reform her. It's only going to mean a lot of trouble.
Well, maybe I think she's worth the trouble, Calvin. Besides, do I ever give you advice about your women?
As a matter of fact, yes. And tonight, I am a man who could definitely use some.
Raise your hand. You got it. Raise your hand. You know it. You feel confident, secure. Raise your hand. You feel dry now. Raise your hand. You know why now. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're sure.
You've got it. That sure, secure, confident feeling. Because each Sure gives you enough protection to help feel dry all day.
Confident, confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand if you're sure.
Yeah! Teaching him how to hit a home run, helping her tie a knot. Little things mean a lot.
Little things do mean a lot, so I care about what touches our lives. Like white cloud.
White cloud, Mommy?
It's the softest. Feel. Yes, but there's more to white cloud quality. White cloud's got 2 fluffy sheets. Now, watch how absorbent white cloud is.
Wow!
The most absorbent. 2-ply white cloud is the softest and most absorbent, and that means a lot.
White cloud, because little things mean a lot. White cloud.
Would anyone like an after-dinner drink?
Oh, where would I put it after such a marvelous meal?
Nancy?
I'd love some club soda, honey.
Okay.
Valerie, I meant to ask you, how are things going at the studio?
Busier than ever. Really, a lot of work piled up for me while I was in Europe. So I've been trying to catch up with all that, and I guess I've really just been trying to adjust to all the things that have been revealed since I've been back. Seems like there's a new development every minute in that Sky Whitney thing.
Actually, I'd like to talk to you about that this evening, Valerie, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Nancy told me about her conversation with you today regarding the man you knew in Lucerne as Jim Dietrichson.
Mike, I can't believe that it was Jeff Brown. I'm feeling pretty stupid.
Well, I'm sorry to bring it up again, but it's important that we know as much as possible about this man.
All I can think about is how busy he must have been going from one identity to the next. Jeff Brown, Jim Dietrichson, Sky Whitney. Good old Valerie fell for all of them.
Oh, you weren't alone.
That's right. You said he may have stolen some top-secret documents from the government? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if he can deceive the State Department, I shouldn't feel so bad.
So far, the theft of vital documents is only conjecture. However, we do know that he did steal another man's name and his fortune.
Mike is investigating the legal ramifications of the case.
And they become more complex every day. Raven Whitney has retracted the statement she made in her confession. She insists now that she didn't know about her husband's deception and that the man who's come back to Monticello as Sky Whitney is the imposter.
Oh, no. Well, why did she say the opposite was true at first, then?
No, she said she made the statement under duress.
You see, if she were coerced in any way, she would have the legal right to retract the statement. However, that doesn't mean her original statement wasn't true.
Valerie, is there anything that you can think of, something about Jefferson Brown that you might have forgotten?
Oh, let me think. Nancy, Jeff Brown in St. Moritz was fun, energetic, witty. And Jeff Brown as Jim Dietrichson was shy, gentle, more intellectual. I never would have thought that they could be the same man. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, could there have been possibly some unique physical characteristic, something as simple as a scar, a birthmark, something like that?
Yes. Jeff Brown had a very prominent scar on his back, right over his shoulder. I noticed it at the pool one day, and when I asked him about it, he said it was where a friend had stabbed him in the back.
Valerie, I think you may have just given us a key.
Well, you see, the financial spot that I'm in, people are trying to take my fortune away from me.
Sorry I can't help you more with that.
We're deeply in your debt for the help you have given us. Raven owes you her life. There isn't any question of that. Isn't that true, Raven?
I suppose so.
I mean you suppose so. If it were not for Jim Diedrichson, you wouldn't be holding this conversation right now. I think he should be rewarded in some way.
Thank you, Mrs. Saxon. But the only reward I want is forgiveness. Not just for me, but for Cliff and Calvin and Mitzi. They didn't know. I didn't know. And we wanted no harm to come to Raven. None of us did. Well, in that case, if there's anything I can do for either one of you ladies, please let me know. Thank you. I'll show myself out.
Good night, Mr. Diedrichson. Raven, that young man was asking you for something. Forgiveness. And you didn't respond.
Hey, look. Those people hurt me. Deeply. You have no idea how I agonized every single day for weeks. And I'm sorry, but I can't just tell those people, hey, it's okay, no problem. Besides, I have more important things on my mind.
Be that as it may, I think your mind, as well as your conscience, would be better served if you would stop trying to deny the truth.
I am not denying anything.
Oh, but you are.
Geraldine, you are the one that is supposed to be standing by my side.
Raven, stop it. You know perfectly well that you have already admitted the truth to me. The man you married was not my nephew. He was Jefferson Brown. Now, you may not have known that before you married him, but you did find out eventually. You knew about it months before he died, and you collaborated with him in the deception.
Yes,
and you know perfectly well why you did it.
Of course. Because he is the only man I have ever loved in my life, and I would have done anything for him.
Yes, because it kept you living comfortably.
All right. But that wasn't the only reason. You know me like a book. So you know I loved him. And if you love me, you'll help me. Please help me. I can't do this by myself. You have to stand by me, Geraldine. You must.
There's no sign of Mrs. Goodman up there, and Adam is fast asleep.
Crazy. She's got to be here somewhere.
Not in the kitchen either.
All right. She left the apartment.
She wouldn't do that with Adam
maybe if there
here.
was an emergency of some kind, she
but
might
then
have...
she'd take Adam with her.
I suppose she... Yes, Oscar, what is it?
Doctor, I'm real sorry. Did I forget to give Miss Jody a letter that arrived for her? Why don't I run it right up in the elevator now?
Listen, Oscar, did you see Mrs. Goodman leave the building any time tonight?
No, sir. Not unless she went by parachute.
Summer dried skin. You've heard all the bad news. Now Noxema brings you good news. Wash with Noxema Skin Cream for better-looking skin this fall than you started out with this summer. Heat and sun dry skin out. Noxema washes moisture in. Washes moisture in. Greaseless, medicated Noxema. Don't let summer spoil your skin. Wash with Noxema now for better-looking skin this fall.
With today's inflation, what can you feed a child besides soup or a sandwich? I serve delicious hot meals with meat from Chef Boyardee.
They're even bite-sized. For me.
Mini ravioli are little pies in tangy sauce stuffed with meat. Delicious. And mini bites are delicious little pies stuffed with cheese with lots of little meatballs. And the taste? Great.
Chef Boyardee, mini bites and mini ravioli. Delicious kid-sized meals with meat.
Pine Valley is the home of all my children, where stars are born and dreams come true. The power of the Cortland Empire, the love of Cliff and Nina, the wisdom of the Martin family, and the excitement that only Erica can bring. These are the people of Pine Valley. These are the people of all my children.
All right, Mrs. Goodman, take this.
No, I don't.
Mrs. Goodman, you are not tough enough at the moment to fight me. Now, just go ahead and take it. Come on.
All right. This is the worst thing that Nora Fulton has done yet. She knew perfectly well that you were terrified of heights.
Oh, I'll say she did. She laughed all the way to the elevator.
The woman is sick. She ought to be locked up.
I'm going to do my best to make sure she is. At least make sure she's punished for this kind of a thing.
Oh! Come on, Mrs. Goodman. I'll help you to your room.
Oh, thank you. I could really use that. Can I do anything?
Oh, thank you, Judy.
No.
That's all right.
Thank you. Oh, boy.
Oh, Oscar, I forgot you were coming up. Thanks a lot. Oscar said this arrived for you. I don't know what it is.
Jody Travis, if you want to know the truth about the portrait, go to the Saracen Head Bookshop on Mortimer Place tomorrow evening at 6. Come alone or you learn nothing.
What is this? Is it kind of a joke?
I don't know, but it's signed Eridu.
Where have you been?
Arranging the flight. One for you, one for me, and one for Miss Jane Thompson, otherwise known as Miss Jody Travis.
Synchronize.
It's not just how a shampoo and conditioner work, it's when.
Enhance.
Enhance shampoo and conditioner work when you style your hair. Because Enhance has synchronized moisturizers that work when you blow dry and brush, when you curl or comb, synchronized to enhance the softness, enhance the shine.
So everything comes together beautifully.
Enhance works when you style.
Synchronize.
With Enhance.
People are talking about the great taste of Vlasic pickles like never before.
Here, my dear, try a Vlasic pickle.
Why, thank you, dear. Now, that's the best tasting pickle I ever heard. Hey, Jimmy, want to trade? Sure. Want a Vlasic pickle? Okay. Now, that's the best tasting pickle I ever heard.
Vlasic pickles. Try them and you might say.
今までにない美味しいのピコを聞きました。
Tonight on Happy Days, Joni's ready to go steady, but Chachi wants to play the field. Then on Laverne and Shirley, will Carmine finally walk down the aisle with Shirley? And following Three's Company, Henry learns Jackie's fiancé is a cop and tries shooting down their marriage plans on Too Close for Comfort. After an inch of paper could put the heart 6 feet under, when the most valuable stamp in the world is traced to them. On Heart to Heart, tonight on ABC.
ABC News, this year honored with more awards than ever before. The Distinguished George Polk Award, the Peabody Award praising our talents, abilities, and excellence. 22 Emmys, more than any other network. ABC News, uniquely qualified to bring you the world.
We asked 500 women. 42 couldn't decide. 196 picked Lipton. And 262 chose 4C.
This is Stormfield. Coming up for you on the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News, it appears the city's transit fare is about to go up, and we're going to tell you about one group of people who don't seem to mind. Also, police are sweeping Upper Manhattan for illegal slot machines, and we'll have this report for you.
Incumbent mayor is announcing a new program to clean up New York. We have to get everybody to care about New York. I do, you do, everybody has to care. Details coming up.
We'll have that and much more for you on the 5 o'clock.
I like my orange to be really orange, so I drink the orange soda with real orange juice in it. I stand on White Rock.
My family goes through so much cola. Am I glad I discovered a cola that gives them a crisp, delicious flavor? I stand on White Rock.
I don't want to mix my ginger ale with anything, because now I drink a ginger ale with flavor that stands up all by itself. I stand on White Rock.
Discover all the delicious White Rock flavors. Take a stand on White Rock.